Hi there. Install ProtoSprite either manually or via the Unity Package Manager. Although, I should probably tell you what ProtoSprite is first. ProtoSprite is a great tool for very quickly making 2D art in Unity. And once it's imported, I can show you everything you need to know to get started. ProtoSprite has dependencies on other packages such as Burst and Mathematics, so it can run multi-threaded code. Now it's imported, open the ProtoSprite window via the top menu bar, under Window 2D ProtoSprite. There it is. I'll dock this window next to the scene view for easy access. To help with pixel-perfect placement of sprites, we can set the Unity tool handle rotation mode to global, ensure 2D mode is active, and enable grid snapping with an increment of 1/16. This is because we'll be making some pixel art that is 16 pixels per unit, for a chunky aesthetic. Activate the Creation tool in the ProtoSprite window or click the hotkey U. Set it to 16 pixels per unit, select a color and draw out a rectangle in the scene view. Name this object Ground. Well done! You've just created your first sprite using ProtoSprite. Select a different color and draw out another rectangle that's thin and tall. Name this one Flag. Look at you go! You're a sprite creation machine. Click the Eraser tool or press the hotkey D. You can quickly adjust the size of the brush by holding Ctrl and left-click dragging horizontally. Erase the contents of the flag, sprite. I'm sure we can draw a better flag than that. Click the Paint tool or press the hotkey B. Start drawing a flagpole like this. Hold down Shift to quickly draw straight lines. Choose a new color for the fabric of the flag. Click the Fill tool or press the hotkey G. Ensure Contiguous is toggled and Connectivity is set to 4-way. Then fill the flag in. What a beauty! The flag's pivot is in the center, which isn't very helpful for positioning it on the ground. Click the Pivot tool or press the hotkey C. Move around the sprite to quickly adjust its pivot. Hold Ctrl to snap it to pixel-perfect increments. You can pan around the scene by holding the right or middle mouse button and dragging. Zoom in or out using the scroll wheel or by holding Alt and right-click dragging. With the flag selected, you can click F to focus on it. Pressing F multiple times will toggle between focusing on the whole sprite or its pivot point. Let's create a new sprite using the Creation tool so we can learn about the color palette. I'll name this sprite Paint, but feel free to get creative. You only live once. As you might have guessed, clicking different colors in the palette lets you paint in those colors. Truly a work of art to behold. We can add new colors to the palette by right-clicking a color and selecting Duplicate, and remove colors by clicking Remove. To change one of the colors, we have to unlock the palette by clicking the padlock button. We can then change the color by selecting the palette color and changing the active paint color. Remember to lock the palette again once you're done editing it. Palettes can be loaded from the active selected sprite in the project browser or scene view. Now I've got a palette made from only the colors present in my Paint sprite. Palettes can be exported out to a PNG file, so you can save them for later or use them in an external art application. You can load the default palette back in by having no sprite selected and clicking the Load Palette button. Right, I've decided I want another flag, but this time I want it to be bigger and better. Press Ctrl D to duplicate the game object, then move it to one side. Editing this sprite will affect both instances of it, which is useful when you want to see the impact of your changes across multiple instances. However, I'm going to click the duplicate button here so I can make a variant of the flag and still keep the original. I'll name it Cool Flag, because that's exactly what it will be. Now I can edit this sprite without it affecting the original uncool flag. Click the Resize tool or press hotkey N. This allows us to quickly resize the sprite and make room for all the coolness we're going to add. Click the Select tool or press hotkey M. We can select a rectangle over the top of the flag and move it higher. We can use these buttons to flip or rotate the selected area. We can also use Ctrl-X to cut, Ctrl-C to copy, and Ctrl-V to paste. Ctrl-Z can be used to undo all your mistakes, at least all the ones you make in Unity. And Ctrl-Y is for redo. I'm going to have the flag a bit taller. With blue fabric and a gold pole. Perfect. Remember to save your sprites with Ctrl-S. Now let's look at another use case. I've got some sprites here that I've downloaded from the internet. I'm going to take this lovely crow and place it in the scene. If I try and paint on it, however, it won't work and you'll see a red line across the sprite. This is because the textures importer isn't set up correctly. We can see more details about the issue by hovering over the error icon in the ProtoSprite window. And for this case, we can fix it automatically by clicking this handy Fix Now button. This crow sprite is part of a texture containing multiple sprites. By editing this crow, we're making changes to the multi-sprite texture, which has a limitation when it comes to resizing. The crow will need its own texture if we want to be able to resize it. Luckily, this can be solved quite easily using the duplicate button, as it allows us to quickly extract this crow sprite from the multi-sprite texture. I'll name this new texture Crow. And now we can resize and edit the crow without affecting the original multi-sprite texture. I think what this crow needs is a hat, but I'll add it as a new game object that's a child of the crow. Using the Creation tool, we can toggle the As Child feature. This will spawn the new game object as a child of the currently selected game object. We can load a new palette from the crow, so we can use the same colors. Now I'll draw out a new sprite for the hat and give it a useful name, such as hat. We can see in the hierarchy that this new hat sprite has been created as a child of the crow. And what a lovely hat that is! I'll also quickly adjust the pivot to be at the bottom of the hat. Perfect! One last useful tip I'd like to show you is if you want to edit an object in the background. With the object selected, click Shift-H to view it in isolation mode. We can then make our changes and exit isolation mode by again pressing Shift-H. Perfect. And finally, Ctrl-S to save. That's everything I have to show you for today. I hope you enjoy using ProtoSprite. Thanks for watching.